Yes, my name is Solomon. Uh, how is everyone? Wherever they are, sending greetings. God bless you. Have a blessed night wherever you are. If your time there is night, have a blessed night, and then if your time there is the morning, have a blessed day. We pray. So today I'm here to talk about stress. Yeah, we have all know that stress is one of a very common condition every one of us go through. In many times we find ourselves having stressful experiences depending on whatever cause it may be. In our daily works, in our daily efforts to pursue whatever goals we have in life, we tend to experience such a thing. So today I've prepared something about stress and how can many of us can go through it and manage it, live away from it, and if we made it, how are we going to do away with it? How are we going to detect it first of all? Because stress is a physical response of our bodies when in challenges, but we can't say stress is just bad, like only bad, because most of us it's one reason that makes us pursue things perfectly. It's a motivator, but being a motivator, it has a level that it goes out of control, and it causes negative effects on our lives. So whenever we are doing any works we are doing, we have some stress, some level of stress. For example, if I wanted to get, for example, an A in certain exam, doing or working to get that A is kind of stressful, but in a normal level that is advantageous, that I have to make it and I have to do this and this. So my mind puts kind of low, it puts a to-do list in my head. I have to do this, I have to do this and the other to get this A. But when it goes beyond that, that is where we're having a problem. And here today we are going to talk about what basically stress means, and then how are we going to recognize it when it's going past limits, past normal limits. After recognizing it, these are very great skills in our lives that we should take as very important things. After recognizing that you are going away from the normal limits of your stress, what are we going to do? What do we have to do about it? How are we going to manage this stress, and how are we going to live on after all this? So I've noted certain things here, some points we are going to follow, and how are we going to do with it. So we're saying stress is physical response, how our body is responding to challenges that we meet in life as we live our lives, wherever we are, whether you're a father or children, or a child or a student, like some of us who have been through. I remember a certain time I was so stressed when I was in my first year of doing this bachelor's of nursing, and when there's a friend of mine who helped me out to teach me about certain things about stress and how should I go over it. But basically the very crucial point is that at times you have to get a diagnosis, or at times you have to get what is the cause of it. You have to get some assessment and then know the cause. When you can't actually take away the cause, for example in studying, that the cause, if schooling is what is causing your stress, then you know that my cause of stress will end when my school is done. Then there you just apply mechanisms of maintaining it in the normal levels, right? So we are saying it is a motivator, so it is advantageous somehow, but it doesn't have actually to go past limits. When it goes beyond, it is an overload on our brains, on our lives, our everything, you know. So someone should note here that stress is cumulative. That the stress you had yesterday, when you don't work on it and you start a new day today, with the either increasing stressors or the same stress as of yesterday, it goes on building within your body, within your mind, and then even the effects or the signs will multiply or will be additive. They will add on each and every day, you know. So how are we going to detect this stress? Our body, like I said earlier, that our body's stress is when our bodies respond to a stressor. That means detection is through you knowing the signs, and after knowing the signs, appreciate these signs. After appreciating these signs, you will notice that these are not signs that are usual on your body or by your body, but they are being brought about by a certain cause. Now, stress, you will find out that you are not sick. Investigations don't show most of they are not positive, but certain signs actually are like as if you are sick. So working on the cause of this stress will be so beneficial for you, or to manage it. For example, if you have a long-term stress cause. So some of the signs I've listed here, among the many, headaches. Many people have headaches and they think, for example, they have maybe a pathological cause of the headache. However, in most cases, it is because they are stressed. It has a direct connection with the way how our blood is pumped. So it can even raise your blood pressure. So in most cases, the stress, the headache that is related to stress is due to increased blood pressure. So there is more force that the heart is pumping with, because it has a direct connection to the hormonal controls. If you are stressed, your adrenaline is kind of matching your blood, so your heart will be beating with a higher force and then higher rate, so it will cause you headache. And at times very many people tend to take drugs, but this is not the best way you would actually attend to such a headache. So you could just manage your stress, and then that headache will go away, minus even using a drug. So there is irritability. When you find yourself irritable, like you are not in your normal mode. Like, for example, you have a threshold of your irritability threshold has lowered. Like someone does just a small thing to you and you yell at them, you burst out, like, well, you get annoyed very easily, things like that. These are not part of us at times, but at times, because of the changing levels of this stress, we end up behaving like this. So if you notice these signs, like I'm mentioning them, we have said there's headache so far, and then irritability. You have nervous stomach, disrupted sleep, you're no longer sleeping. At times you actually overdo it. It is two-way, because at times stress makes you very kind of weak and fatigued, so you will be sleeping. However, at times you lose sleep. So one of the two is not normal for you, and this should be related to the history you have. If, for example, you've been sleeping well and then you don't have disrupted sleep, you are sleeping, for example, in 24 hours you sleep for 8 hours, and then you are starting to sleep for 2 hours in 24 hours, that is a big kind of challenge, and you can just tell. At times you do not actually have what you're doing, but you can't just access sleep. At times when you have what you're doing, it might not be necessary that you have stress. because possibly you just have many duties you haven't completed, and your mind is set and to complete these duties, and you are doing them, and that is why you're not sleeping. But if you are there, you do not have duties to accomplish, you are in bed but you're not getting sleep, then that is another issue. That could be a sign of stress. So what do you have to do when you see such signs like we have mentioned them? Is the solution is working on them. And how are we working on them? The working on them is by de-stressing yourself, to put down the stress levels, and then the body will regain its normal kind of work, and you will get back to your normal functioning, and then you will be able to sleep. You'll be able to get away with the nervousness of the stomach, and then the irritability together with the headache will be going away. So what are the effects? It manifests through, it will disrupt your emotional kind of emotional state. It will manifest physically. For people who are school-going people, academically will not be performing well, and then socially you will be, like for example, we say irritability. Socially you will not be good at all. Your friends will be like, what happened to him and or her, and you will be keeping away from them. You develop a character of avoidance. You do not want to be amongst them. So this is not the best way for us to live, and it is not healthy for our lives, because by definition, WHO defines health not just an illness, so it goes beyond that. How is your mental state? Are you okay? Socially, are you fine? Not just because you are not like you don't have any illness. So health is kinda bigger than just an illness. So that is why we can come up with such things like you have to be healthy. So it will as well have a negative effect on your immunity, like stress is immunosuppressant. It will put down your immunity, and the next day you will have more infections managing to actually win your immunity, win your security, your body security. So many illnesses will come in at times, but when the start or the trigger of this was stress, you end up getting sick because, well, stress came in with that, lowering your immunity, and then you get sickness. So your concentration will be disrupted, and you will not be communicating well. But we are saying that the good news is only one here, is that with this knowledge we are going to give today, that all we have given already is that you can detect these signs, you can detect your stress levels when your stress level is going beyond the limits. Like we said, it's a motivator. That means we need it. For example, I had a friend of mine that told me that for him in life, death is one of his motivators. And you could wonder, you would say, oh, no, this can't be, it's just a nightmare. But for him, death is a motivator in his life. Like he works so hard, and to see that every goal he has to do is put in place. Why? Because he knows someday he will be going away from life. So, if death can't be only bad, how can stress be only bad? So it is a motivator, but it has not got to move beyond limits. So when it goes beyond limits, these signs will manifest, and then you will get to know, and you have to work onto them. Like working onto them is by de-stress. Bring stress levels down. So we have said we can detect these signs and work on them. So here's what people try to confuse. Because there is anxiety, but there is stress. Anxiety is some other thing. Because for anxiety is constant fear. Like you're worried of everything, So the signs we have talked about can as well manifest in someone with anxiety. But for them, at times, they may not actually need to be like in stressful situations. So they will have this kind of challenges or these signs when they actually are not in stressful situations. But for you who is just in stress, this will only come when you have any stressful kind of experience. So how are we going to manage this stress? We have about 12 suggestions we have put down for you to try out, and I believe you will see a change. But first of all, like I mentioned earlier, is that you have to carry out your investigations. It might be at personal level, but if you can't actually manage it yourself, you can go see out the counselor, or you can go to the hospital, see a nurse, because well, we are trained to be counselors and to manage such conditions, even in stress kind of experiences. We can help out people, like, well, we can give information, and then we can help you to decide about what to do, what best you can do. But remember, this all depends on the honesty and truth of the information you have given to us. Because if you lie me, then I will not be able to provide the information that will help you out. In many cases, you can find someone and they come to you and they want you to help them, but they give you false information. Then you give them information that is dependent on the information they've given to you, and they end up not getting well, because well, you given them an information that did not actually match what actually caused their stress. So we are saying that taking care of your mind and body can go a long way towards managing your stress level and help you restore yourself to balance. Like, the most important thing is yourself, because you cannot do anything for anyone, or you cannot do your work, you cannot do anything. Yourself must be first. You must think about yourself. Even when you are going to, like, for example, go worship God, go do God's work, you should be well to do God's work. So you should be thinking about your health well, and you can be robust to do everything and to serve God well and everything well. So what are the suggestions? We have about 12 so far. We have listed here for you to try out. You should ensure enough sleep. You should be like, if you are reducing your sleep, or if you have noticed a reduction in your sleep hours, you should go back and try to go back to the sleep pattern you had. Example, we recommend people to sleep 8 hours a day. Well, these are certain things that at times are not possible, because certain people really do too much to sustain their lives, to live, at times academicians, school-going people, they have too much things to do. But in times when you find yourself trying to go beyond the limits of stress, then you should go back to your roots. Go back, have some good sleep, have your mind rest enough. You should embark on good diet. Good diet is balanced diet, my dear. And we have some bits we should exclude at times when you have too much stress, because they actually worsen. For example, in good diet there would be some sugar and what, but in stress condition you might have to reduce sugars, because sugars actually worsen the situation. You have to embark on regular exercises. Like, this is one of the points that some friend of mine, when I was going through very tough stress times in my first year BNS, second year when I was doing my nursing degree, a friend of mine told me, you have to do exercises. I didn't actually know what is behind the exercises. Yeah, but exercises really do much great. Yeah, the science behind and the physiology behind exercises is way too good. I appreciated it, and I'm like, wow. So if anyone actually wants it, we shall, I think, prepare a lesson about it. It's a very good kind of science, how it really relieves stress, right from even reducing the radicals in the blood. So we shall talk about that. It's kind of extended. But just note, regular exercise is very good kind option for you to try out. You should learn deep breathing exercises. We used to think that these are things we should only teach our patients in hospitals, but it actually is so good. At times stress is worsened by you have less oxygen concentration reaching your brain at times. So deep breath actually helps the body to take in as much oxygen as possible, that stress is relieved. You should learn to meditate. During meditation we get relief. How? Because when you meditate, at times you get solutions for the problems you have. The stress causes might be because you don't have a solution for the problem, or for the problem that is coming to you. So when you meditate, at times you think about some good things, and then in the due course you get a solution for the problems you have, and you can attend to them. And you will end the stress when you have the solution of your problem. Say no to negativity. Right from the thoughts you get, if they are negative, train your mind to say no to them. And then physically, we have many friends of ours or people that come into our lives and they tell us negativity. Someone tells you cannot be able to do this. You will not be able to cross over. That kind of negativity. Learn to say no. Because when you comply to it, you end up being more stressed. Talk to a friend. In most cases, a friend that you trust. Because when you talk to a friend that you do not trust, at times they can tell out your story and they stress you the more. Because you don't want your story to be in public. At times, things that stress us are private and we do not actually want them to go out there. You can talk to a friend that you trust. If that can't be, then talk to a counselor, because for us we are trained to be confidential. You tell me your problem will be between you and me, and it will remain there in the room we have met. So limit the caffeine and other constrictors, because caffeine is a constrictor, blood vessel constrictor. When it kind of reduces the blood vessel lumen, and then less oxygen delivery to destinations in our bodies. And like I mentioned earlier, it is when you have less oxygen concentration at destinations, at cellular level, you have issues of stress. Stress is worsened. That is why we train deep breathe. You breathe in, you take in as much oxygen as you can, such that you increase the oxygen that is taken. So any constrictor, caffeine, reduce, limit them. Avoid alcohol and drugs, because they take the same train and they are addictive. Meaning that, because some people will say that when I take alcohol, my stress goes away, but it doesn't actually go away. When your alcohol half-life is off and now you are sober, the stress you find it, and then stress the more. Then you take alcohol the more, you get addicted. It also has its very bad effects, and you can end up actually burying your life. This happened to me, not to me in particular, but my dad. I really don't know, but this touches me so much. Well, whenever I remember about things that happened to my parents. My mom died over hypertension. My dad died over stress. Yeah, because it's stress that led him to all that he acquired, and at the end of the day he had to die. But these are things that at the moment I can manage. If someone is really close to me like that, they just can't go like that. I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have what to do, I just saw and watched them go away. Yeah, this was a traumatic kind of condition. But well, I'm so glad to God and thank Him that at least through them I've acquired this, and through the conditions I've acquired this, and I've managed to live to today. And now the capacity, competences, and the knowledge I have can at least save some other person. If I didn't manage to save them, some other person must be saved. And it is one of the reasons that's why I do this. I came up with this. Someone out there must access this information, and and they work on themselves, something must happen and someone must be saved. So we continue. That was a by the way. Manage well your time, because at times, because we have missed too much things we had to do, we get stressed because we have too much to do and we can't actually do it in the time we have remained with. When you know that you have deadlines, and well, by nature we all have deadlines, because we all have to be subjected to this at one point in life. So that means you have deadlines in life. That means you should manage your time very well and think about your goals. Make sure that you have implemented them in the time you have, such that you don't actually go beyond deadline, or you don't do things at the last hour. Don't procrastinate. Try out yoga, relax, watch funny movies so that you can laugh, attend to your hobbies, do all that makes you happy, so long as it is not negative to you, because you can be with hobbies that are actually negative to your life. For example, some people will tell you that alcohol is my hobby. That is not a good hobby, it's a negative hobby, it will do you bad, so don't do that. But attend to your positive hobbies, watch movie, hang out with friends, like that. Attend to friends, go visit, enjoy, go to church. Some people enjoy church more than anything else, and the hobby is going to church. Sing, go play instruments. So I think with that, allow me wish you a blessed day. Have a blessed night for those who are out there in the world where it's night right now. We love you. I sign out for now. I remain Solomon. Thank you so much.